Because I'm saying hello.
What's up, everybody? Zach here with the Nerd Cave. Oh my gosh, it's Thursday night, and I'm joined along with the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, sorry, I was talking about somebody else, but we got Derek with us tonight. Somebody that's, you know, the man, the myth, the legend. Not you. Yeah, sorry. You can't hear Derek?
Oh no.
Okay, now you can. I had Discord muted. Boom, there we go. Guys, how you doing? Let us know how you are down in the comments below. We got an awesome one planned for you tonight. We're going to be talking about Xbox facing the FTC, PlayStation and their shenanigans, all of that good stuff. But we want to hear how you are doing down in the comments below. Glad you can hear Derek now, but you know, does Derek, other than reading, does Derek bring a lot to this? I don't know.
Thanks. All right, I'll see how that is. I'll let you read all the articles then, since that's, you know.
Okay, and I'll just do all the heavy lifting like every week.
Wow. Okay. Says the man who's like, "Ooh, what's the top story for today? What's the top story?
Hey.
I don't know what's going on."
Hey, there's this thing called I had a job this week.
No. You do all the heavy lifting. It should be light work for you, my guy. It should be light work. Don't give me that.
Derek, you are light work, so I'm just gonna mute you real quick, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, that's Derek's anime voice. That's
my gosh,
his anime boy voice.
That's a Zenitsu when he starts freaking out.
Yeah, that is you are him, 100%.
So I turn into a boss when I go to sleep, and
yeah, every now and then you're useful. That's what.
Hey man, it's okay.
You know what I mean? Like Tanjiro and Inosuke's having to do all the flipping, the heavy lifting over here. We're talking about anime.
Yeah, Zenitsu did say Tanjiro. What was it, the last or one of the last episodes of season 2?
Yeah. Are you talking about the red light district one or the?
Yeah, red light district.
Yeah.
No, excuse me, that's not appropriate. It's entertainment district.
Oh yeah, the entertainment district. Yeah, guys, we hope you're doing well. We're talking about some demon hunter, demon slayer, whatever.
I say, yeah, get the name right, son.
Demon Slayer. Well, one of us is caught up, the other one's like behind, so you know what I mean.
It'll be all right. I'll be there in about a month.
I could just like spoil everything right now.
That's a lovely. I'll just mute. Let's go.
All right. So when Tanjiro drop kicks Beerus, it's crazy, guys. It is absolutely crazy. Derek stops posting in the group and making new scripts. World's on fire.
That Zach really would be in trouble.
I got some people that can code, and we'll just code that bad boy up. We'll just code it.
All right, fine. All right, bet.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
We got Chat GPT for a reason.
This will save me hours during the week then.
Oh, you would have nothing to do, Derek. You'd be like, I wish I was posting. I wish I was posting.
The amount of anime and video games I would have to watch / play, I would definitely not be,
Derek, let's just be honest. You playing a video game, like, it's almost like the second coming of Christ. We don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually it might happen.
Eventually I'll get off that second planet in Survivor. Oh, Lord.
Oh, man. Hitting you tonight, man. I'm hitting you tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's what I do, buddy. That's what I do. But yeah, season 3, Demon Slayer, pretty good. We get some new character development. We get a change up from the normal mix we've been having, though. So.
Oh, okay. I think because I tried not to have. I don't think it's a spoiler, but I do. If it's what I think it is, it's like, yes, typical of what the last 2 arcs have shown. Yes.
Yeah. That dynamic has changed up in this season. Which is good. I'm glad it gave opportunity for new characters to come in.
Yeah.
Ones that we've seen before, but we get to learn a little bit more about. But I will say the season was good, but it was not as deep as the others. On the character development, it was like, all right, this is the episode for this character to develop. It wasn't like over like several episodes where you got to learn more and more about a character or whatever. But it's no Rengoku. Tasty.
Tasty. That one where he like shook the whole boxcar was just great.
I was telling Amy about him. I was like, from now on, that's what I'm going to do. When something's good, I'm just going to let everybody know. Tasty.
You remember, that's my buddy Matt's favorite character from Demon Slayer. And that's the one I got the sword from at Pensacon.
Okay. Did you get a Rengoku sword?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know what it was back then.
Well, I think well, how about this? I knew you hadn't watched it, but I'm just like, it's from Demon Slayer. I think I just gave you like the bare bones because I knew you hadn't watched it.
Yeah, yeah. See, I couldn't remember because
Yeah.
you know you
Okay, you wouldn't remember it anyway because it came from me.
Yeah, true that. Unless it's a bet, which by the way, I'm waiting
Oy
for.
vey!
I'm waiting for my Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I bought some for me tonight. You know, it was delicious.
Yeah, well, you do old Buddy Roo over here some Chick-fil-A.
You know, that just struck a question.
Yeah.
You said Chick-fil-A, which could just mean
Yeah.
something as simple as a cookie.
No,
You didn't say a whole
it's-
meal.
It's a Chick-fil-A order. We can go back. We can go back and figure this out, Derek.
You won't. You don't have the time.
I got
That's
an
too
editor.
much work for you.
I got an editor. Be like, Carter, go back a few weeks, find this. Be like, all right.
For like a few months. What you mean?
True. It was before the PlayStation showcase. I have all those recordings. So
Yeah.
dude, I was over here offering you like the best steak that I've ever had, and you're over there, it could be a cookie. I'm like, to see what kind of man you are. It's the kind of man you are.
Well, seeing what kind of treatment I'm getting makes it to where you don't deserve the best, sir.
Derek, I'm coming at you.
It
hot
is
and
not
heavy
my
tonight.
pleasure to serve you.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
You'll get one of those sunshine smoothie mixes from Publix, the cut bar.
Oh my God. I'd throw it all over your car. I would let it sit out in the sun for a few days and like, just get disgusting, then drive to where you're at and then throw it on your car. Yep.
Then I go through a car wash. Like, you act like that's going to be such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Or
But-
knowing your luck, that's when a monsoon would come through and it'd just wash it off anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So.
That's normally how it happens, you know?
Yeah.
It's normally how it happens. All right, Derek. I'm tired of beating you up. I'm gonna let you rest for a minute.
Sure,
Let you rest for a minute, you know what I mean? Because it's not even my final form. Not even my final form, Derek.
Again, light work.
Exactly. Like I'm not even using my dominant hand yet. You know? I've got weights on right now.
The fact that you think you're Lee is cute.
Oh, I'm not even talking about Lee.
Who are you?
You gotta watch season 3, man. You gotta watch season 3 of Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Guys,
I mean, you know how many, the amount of characters that have like weighted trait? I mean, look how many characters of Dragon Ball Z had weighted like
exactly. You're over here just picking Lee. I'm like, Lee's great, but he ain't the first. You know what I mean? He ain't the first. And he ain't the last, because that's a trope in anime, you know?
You right. Especially Shonen.
Yeah, exactly. Marilyn says, had a root canal done this morning. Oof. It went well, but the numbing shots were not fun. Yeah, the numbing shots on anything dental, it's better to have them than not have them. But yeah, they're not
right.
They're not any fun by any stretch of the imagination.
No bueno.
If you have not already, hit that like button, share this with somebody that you love, so more and more people get to see the stream. We're going to be jumping in here in just a few minutes into the stories for the week as Derek whispers sweet burps into my ear. Just you know what? Season 1, The Proving. Like on the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, the hand demon.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
Urokodaki.
But yeah, this arc was good. I want to talk more about anime, and guys, if you want to help us talk more about anime, we have an awesome show that we want to put out. We have an awesome show that's just waiting in the wings about anime. If you want
I
that to
know.
happen, go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and help us out over there. Once we hit $150 a month, we're going to be putting out an anime show every quarter. We're going to be talking about all the big stuff coming out, all the things that you need to be watching, and discussing all of our favorite anime.
My One Piece saga.
Derek's One Piece saga. Mine, I'm getting back into anime, like pretty, pretty heavily.
Good.
Now that I'm done with Demon Slayer, until we get a new season. The anime, we're close to being at 150. So we need that little extra push. You know what I mean? We need that little extra push. So if y'all want to help that, and y'all want to be able to talk about anime, I love talking about anime. Now that I'm done with Demon Slayer, I'm trying to pick what I'm going to watch next.
Oh,
because I've got several different shows that I want to watch.
Okay, hit me with your front runners.
I'm thinking about Buddy Daddies.
Haven't watched that yet. It's
kind of like a Spy X Family thing.
I know what it is, but I'll say, and it did give me vibes. I just haven't seen anything. It's definitely the guy. Yeah, it's definitely the same trope for sure.
Yeah,
from
same
what I've
trope.
Seen.
Rurouni Kenshin, the remake, is about to come out soon.
That's right. Oh my god.
So that I might just hold off, so I'm not ready to go for another samurai anime and go with that. So those are my front. I might jump into Attack on Titan and catch up.
Okay. All right. Two other ones that I would think you would like. One's a little bit more on the Demon Slayer side. The other one's more on the Naruto side. But I know I've told you about. The Demon Slayer side would be more like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I'm wanting to watch that because season 2 I think is just coming out.
No, I think it's the 6th or 7th. It's next week for sure.
Okay.
And then the other one is Black Clover. So which is that one's really good. That one has the wholesome main characters, never giving up type of attitude. It is on a hiatus right now because it's 170 episodes out, but it's on a hiatus because it caught up with the manga. And it's got a movie just came out on Netflix for it. So but that is a long watch. So I would probably wait on that, because especially if you got stuff that's shorter that you can watch. But I would push for Jujutsu Kaisen just because season 2 is fixing to come out.
Okay, I know that. Also, The Witcher new season started today.
That's right.
There was another one. It's like Vanguard something that I've heard people talk about.
You mean Vinland Saga? No.
Yeah, Vinland Saga. I think that's it.
Yeah, the one with Vikings.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's Vinland Saga. I haven't watched that yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, everybody's going crazy for that right now. So
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff, Derek, and there's tons of games as well. There's so much out there to play and to watch.
So much in the fall.
I know, man. It's a ton of stuff, but that's okay because it's all good in the hood, as you will. What's up, Murdoch? Hope you're doing well tonight, my man. We're just chatting some anime real quick because we're just putting it out there. And I need to catch up now since we're a few episodes out with Ranking of Kings, like the bonus season that they're doing.
Yeah.
So I need to definitely catch up with that because, dude, Ranking of Kings, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. I feel like, I don't know, is Ranking of Kings a manga? I feel like it probably is.
I think most of them are nowadays. Back in the early days, they would take liberties and do anime exclusives, and they still do from time to time.
Yeah.
But Cowboy Bebop, anime only, no manga to go off of.
Cowboy Bebop is so good.
Right.
Okay, yeah, it is a manga. which
Is the next stage of your weevolution gonna happen? Is it gonna be reading manga now?
I actually picked up Dr. Stone, the first manga of it. I still haven't read it, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it, but I think I'm gonna go through My Heroes manga.
Oh yeah, just to know what happens.
Yeah, just to, like the extra stuff, and do the Vigilantes one as well.
Oh yeah,
apparently it's really good as well. So,
okay.
but yeah, I've got several of the Spy Family. They're literally like
You
right
did tell me
there.
that.
I need to read.
Yeah.
But that's coming out in October, so I'm excited for that.
Yep.
Murdoch says, Doc said I had to start lifting weights. I have plateaued in cardio. Oh, okay. Shadow boxing is a really good cardio workout as well. You know, so you can do some shadow
getting
boxing.
chased by a fierce predator is also good cardio.
Hiking, you know.
Yeah.
You know, doing some urban hiking, always a good, you know. But like as I've grown up, Derek, really centering your chi, you know what I mean? Hi is like a really important part of any kind of workout. You know, hey, give me a little hi, Derek.
Hey,
There you go. Derek knows how to center his chi. Do y'all know how to center your chi? You little hi. That's what it's about.
In my early years,
He said
I know
something
like the centering yourself and
yeah, man. Hey, you said something about tearing muscles. Well, like that in a good way, tearing muscles, like building them up, or like you're tearing.
I was about to say, like bad tearing, like you tear your like Cody Rhodes, like you tear your pectoral going into the main event, or are you like muscular from My Hero, like tearing muscles to get stronger and all building up?
Yeah, because like when you like actually exercise, like you are like the fibers and everything are tearing essentially to like grow back stronger and all that, right? Micro tears to rebuild them. Okay. The right way. Okay. It was like, please don't be like over there like tearing your muscles for, you know, that's why you gotta center. You know what I mean, Derek?
Yeah.
Give us another one. A little hi. There you go. See, we know what's going on over here. We know what's going on. So some urban hiking, some shadow boxing, get you real prepped up and ready for those weightlifting. You'll be lifting a Hummer before the week is done if you know how to center your chi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mjolnir, nothing to it. Nothing to it. You know.
Nothing to a G.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm gonna call it Nerd Fit. There you go. Get you some ice and, you know, some water. Do some cold plunges, which is actually really good, by the way. I will say, cold plunges, you burn a ton of fat from cold plunges, because how do we measure calories, Derek? How is a calorie measured?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I completely blanked out. Sorry, I got a text message from one of my bosses.
You're good. A calorie is measured by how much energy it takes to burn something.
Right.
That's what a calorie is and everything. So what happens when you get in a cold plunge? Your body is expelling heat at a rapid pace.
Right.
So it's burning fat when you're in a cold plunge.
Huh. That's true.
Because it's trying to keep warm.
Yeah.
So there you go. Also, it has these interesting like toxins that go into your body, like good toxins, I guess. No, it's not toxins. It's enzymes. They're called cold enzymes. They're to like keep you from dying if you like get like in a bad situation with like cold water and everything. So you like survive and all of that. So we have a
cold science with Zach.
Yes. I need to start doing it more. We have a cold plunge at work. I am going to start trying to do it.
That's such an odd thing to have at your workplace.
Dude, we have a sauna. We have a cold plunge. We have a red light like a solar panel kind of thing to like reset your body. We have a I can't remember. It's like a shockwave, synth wave, something. It's not music, but it's like this thing that like resets your nervous system to like what it's supposed to be on and everything. It's like this chair. And then we got like weights and all of that. So we got all of this kind of stuff at work. But yeah, my goal is to start doing it hopefully every day.
Okay.
Hopefully every day. So if I can get better at my eating, I'm doing cold plunges every day. Dude, I'm going to be on like the next level. Like you're going to see.
Do you have to bring an extra pair of clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I just jump in it. You know what I mean?
And then your body heat will naturally dry you off.
Yeah, exactly. Cause you know, I got that, Kimi no Kagura, whatever. I can't remember.
Hinokami Kagura?
There we go. I got that Orochimaru in me, boy. I got that.
What you mean, a Rorimashu?
Yeah, Rorimashu. Yeah, we're very modern at my place of work and everything. So.
Oh Lord.
Oh my Lord.
I try, guys. I try to make this uncultured swine culture.
Kimi Kagura.
Hinokami
Kagura. There we go. Why can't it just be water breathing, water style? You know what I mean? Oh, Tanjiro's like, forget you.
All right. Just think of it as the same as Katon or fire style. Katon. Big lug beats no jutsu.
Yeah, you know what, Orochi, you're close. You're close. It's an O at the beginning. You know, I'm dude. What if I like? I start being like All Might, dude. I'm talking about like buff All Might, not like drugged out All Might.
You'd be Master Roshi at best, which is still a compliment.
Oh, really? That's far. All right, challenge accepted, Derek. Challenge accepted.
No, I'm talking about when Master Roshi goes all hulked out.
I know, but I'm going. Go
beyond. Plus.
That's what we're going for, Derek.
Okay.
That's what we're going for.
Fair.
You can. Hey, Derek.
Yes.
You're my endeavor. All right. It's okay. You can always be my number two.
That's fine.
You can always be my number two. You know what I mean?
Endeavor is a bad joker, so I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you'll always, you know, just be a little stain, you know. I'm making a reference, not calling Derek a stain.
I know. I know what you're doing. I'm only laughing at things that are funny.
Oh, so your camera, it's anyway. I'm gonna not be mean to Derek anymore, y'all.
That's a lie.
Derek, I'll make you a bet right now.
Well, I can't promise I'll take it, but I'm at least going to entertain this one. Go ahead.
I will be nice to you the rest of the night.
Okay, and if you're not?
And if I'm not, then I will be mean to you the rest of the night.
That's the lamest bet you've ever done in your entire life, sir.
You should be nice anyways. I don't know. Derek he's needing this. All right. This is as much excitement as Derek gets.
Maybe.
You know?
I don't know.
I'm not talking about work drama. I'm not talking about that.
I don't know. Anime is pretty exciting. You know what I'm saying?
But we both look forward to this every week. You know? And I got to come with the thunder. You know what I mean? I got to come with the thunder.
I'd rather be the lightning. That way I can strike.
Oh, you are Zenitsu, so.
Yeah, you are right. Just don't make me go to sleep, because then it's over for you.
Say, I want to tell you stuff, Derek. I want to tell you stuff, but I can't. because you lame and you're not watching the Demon Slayer. So I can be like, oh man, did you see this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like this thing, and then and you're like, nah, I'm gonna lie. Oh, lie. Like it got, Derek, it got so good that I couldn't keep waiting every week for the dub. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, I gotta keep going. I gotta
See,
keep
this
going.
man is impatient, y'all. Like he just can't wait for a good thing to come to him.
That's not true.
Amy doesn't count. Amy was patient with you. Amy's a saint.
Well, you're not, so. Yeah.
I never claimed I was. I'm not. Listen, Shawn Michaels never claimed to be a choir boy.
I mean, he did have a good thing come to him, a PS5. You know, a clock is right twice a day. A clock is right twice a day.
No.
You know what I mean?
You screwed it up already. A broken clock is right twice a day.
No, Derek, your clock it's not even broken. It was never right. There we go. All right, guys, we're gonna get in this. We're gonna get in this.
We got some. You know, last couple weeks we've had some videos to watch. This week we got some reading to do. We got some required reading to do.
Yeah, we got a bunch of reading to do. So, how this is going to work, everybody, if you've not been here before, we're going to reintroduce everything. We're going to jump into the news. If you're new here, let us know that you're new. We love getting to talk to y'all. We want your thoughts. We want your comments. We got a bunch of stuff about Xbox and the FTC tonight, so you don't want to miss it. I'm playing a Derek over here now, burping into my mic. He's over here soothsaying me. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear all of those things down in the comments below. Will I be nice to Derek? I don't know. See,
no,
Derek,
that's already an easy answer.
Derek, you got to give me like a, well, if you're nice to me, I guess this would be this rolling. I'm on stop our music. We're ready for this, guys. I hope you are too. I'm going to hit record. And starting in 3, 2, 1. This week, Xbox takes on Uncle Sam, while Jim Ryan continues to push PlayStation forward over their dead body. This is the NerdCave News, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, joined along with The World is Ending and a horde of disease-ridden zombies. But there is one man. Well, some say he's a man. Some say he's a legend. He has the strength of 100 men, and his weapons of fire cannot be matched. Yet, it is his healing magic that will be that will
save the diseased.
Yeah, save the diseased and the world. Maybe he will save us one day. They say his name is Drag Heron, the Horde Destroyer.
Amy, I'm so sorry. Like,
hey, dude,
you put so much effort. You put so much effort into making this exposition every week, and this man can't do a simple copy and paste.
Dude, I copied and paste. All right. Am I about to throw my wife under the bus on this? Maybe I am.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Maybe I am. It said safe, not save. And my mind was like, that doesn't make any sense. Hold up. Wait a minute. But we landed the name. Derek's got to try to throw me under the bus. And then, you know what? Substitution jutsu. Boom.
It's okay. Even if it's Amy's fault, it's still your fault because you didn't correct her or you didn't help her out and proofread it for her like a good husband should have. You just like, oh, let me copy and paste like a bot.
Derek, where do we rank this name?
All right. Let's see. So again, this is our 19th name. Holy cow. 19th name of the year. Woo. So let's look at the top 5. So we've got President Desmond Cyrus Alizan III. We got Saris Ulthora, the Secret Keeper. Combat Master Vexar Skirata. Thorod Rygason, the Warrior King, and Galrinth, Bringer of Death. Excuse me.
Where does it rank, Derek? Does it hit top 5? Derek's been hitting the juice tonight, y'all. So y'all
I know. No, that Chick-fil-A talking back.
I'm talking about the apple juice. Derek been drinking apple juice.
I knew he'd get me back eventually.
Derek, where does this rank? Come on, man. We got to show.
I know. Because I do like the exposition, but I don't know. It just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't have that impact. Not because of your failed delivery, but just reading it, it just, it didn't have that same impact. So I don't think it's top 5. So then we go down to the next 5. We've got the Grove of Light, Balro Wraithry, Captain Faxon the Merciless Blackwood, Trurog, the Hut Head of the Hut Crime Family, Tagor, Destroyer of Men, and Jebediah Larson, the Horse Slaughterer and Hog Milker. I think I'm going to put this as the new number 7, because I still like Balro Wraithry. So this is going to be the new number 7.
There we go, guys. New number 7. Put some GGs in the chat /comments, because this is the NerdCave News, and this episode is brought to you by the Epic Game Store and our wonderful patrons. But more about that later. Amy says, Derek, you are spoiled by my name skills. So hard to please. Yeah.
Does she have all of the top 5 or at least 4 of the top 5?
She has 4 of the top 5.
Yeah. So how do you, I am spoiled. I am, but she says this like she doesn't own the top 5. So I could understand if she only had like 2, but I don't know.
No, Derek, I'm gonna put one out there. This is an old one.
Okay.
Butters Whoopstar Washington.
Yeah, I remember that name.
That's a good one. Butters Whoopstar Washington.
The origin, or the early origin of the naming.
Yeah. It's good one. There was no exposition back in the day. It was just, I'm joined along with, and it'd be a name.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, but you know what? Thinking about it too, so hard to please. Well, your husband has rubbed off on me. It's hard to please him, so it's just you naturally taken over me over the years.
Oh yeah,
it's like osmosis.
Yeah, I'm just such a tyrant, everyone.
Well, I'm not just talking about that. I'm just talking about in general, like things like gaming, stuff, what goes on in the TV world, that kind of thing. So
true. Hard to please, and I'm a tyrant. You can ask anyone, but I'm not the only one, because let's get into the gaming discussion this week. Xbox versus the FTC. Yeah. Xbox seriously considered acquiring Sega, Bungie, IO Interactive, and others to fill in content gaps.
So all of this is culminated because it was just like the Apple versus Epic Store. How all these different documents came to light and whatnot. This is the same thing. The best kept secrets have been come to light now with this court ruling. So this was an interesting one, but Bungie's the most interesting one. I wonder if Sony got wind of that and it's like, no, let's go ahead and sap them up first. But IO and Sega would have made sense in these terms. But let's get into it. An internal Xbox document submitted as evidence in the ongoing trials shows the company's acquisition strategy as of May 2021. The document begins by recommending multiple acquisitions to fill perceived content gaps in mobile development, as well as, quote, franchises with strong communities and deep engagement, and, quote, casual, social, and cross-generational franchises. The presentation suggests Xbox first compiled a list of 100 developers based on multiple criteria, then narrowed it down to 8 final candidates. Thunderful Games, Supergiant Games, which would have been crazy, Niantic for mobile, Playrix, Zynga for mobile, Bungie, IO Interactive, and Scopely. Other developers of note that almost made the final list include Behavior Interactive, Housemarque, which was acquired by Sony in 2021, Remedy Entertainment, Larian Studios, Rebellion Developments, and Paradox Interactive. Several other big heavy hitters in there. But it looks like Xbox got especially close to one developer in particular, Sega. According to an email similarly entered into evidence, Xbox head Phil Spencer specifically went to Microsoft CFO Amy Hood and CEO Satya Nadella to request approval to approach Sega and acquire its gaming studios, notably not including the rest of its business units. We believe, quote, we believe that Sega has built a well-balanced portfolio of games across segments and global geographic appeal, and will help us accelerate Xbox Game Pass both on and off console. Microsoft GM David Hampton simply replied, quote, game on to this email. The email is dated November of 2020, so it's unclear why, when, or even if Spencer's plan to pick up Sega fell through. We can glean from the profile Xbox compiled on the studio that it saw investment in the company from Nexon as a complicating element in the process, as well as complications from Sega's other business verticals. However, its PC-centric content, Total War and Football Manager, as well as Relic Entertainment, Yakuza, Endless Dungeon, and of course Sonic were major draws. The presentation includes a full breakdown of 17 companies and possibly an 18th entirely redacted one that Xbox was seriously considering, including discussion of their upcoming games, involved risks, and other facts. Some interesting tidbits from the section include mention of Bungie's mysterious Matter IP and seemingly confirmation that IO's new fantasy shooter is in fact the rumored Project Dragon in the works for Xbox and PC.
A lot of good stuff in there, a lot to break down, but I think it's very interesting that there are 3 mobile developers on that list: Niantic, Playrix, and Scopely. I just looked up Scopely. Because
especially considering that PlayStation is trying to get in the mobile market too.
Yeah, everybody is trying to push there because it is really untapped, to be honest. Kind of funny, talked a lot about this, but we see with the Activision Blizzard buy that they've got King as part of Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And that's that is like, they're just King itself is worth like, I think they draw in like 50 million a year easy.
Yeah.
So like they are wanting mobile games because, you know, everybody and their grandmother plays a mobile game, you know?
Yeah.
You play a mobile game. I play mobile games every now and then. You know, but everybody's playing these, and it's because it's so accessible. Everybody has them. The thing that's interesting, other than mobile side, that they wanted to buy Bungie again.
Yeah, I know.
Because Bungie,
they had a terrible falling out.
Yeah, they used to own them and everything, and they try to control them too much. And Bungie was like, "All right, we're out." And the only way they could get out is if they left the Halo IP. So
yeah,
I would have loved to seen Sega to be a part of this. Bungie coming back in the fold would have been amazing at the same time, because then we could have finally gotten a good Halo game.
Now another, you know, because they have been, you know, they do have close, going back to Sega for a second, because this just sparked in my memory. I may have been getting the first one, but doesn't Sega own the Persona franchises too? Hold on.
Let's look that up.
Sure. Because I always get them confused with another one.
Let's say
Atlas. Well, it's Atlas who's public. I think aren't they owned by Sega?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so yeah, they technically would own, if Atlas is part of that, if in a perfect world, you know, they were to buy Sega and Atlas comes with that would mean they'd own the Persona series, which that would be crazy, which would also explain why they've been making that push for Persona lately.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Xbox has really been doubling down and strengthening their ties to the Asian markets and everything.
Right.
And owning Sega would be a huge push for that, because I know later on, I think we talk about them trying to buy Square Enix and everything.
Yeah.
But that is one of those things. Now, Derek, how much do you want to bet that this redacted one is Capcom?
Oh, that's juicy.
Yeah. Because like Sega, yeah, they've done some good things, but Capcom has been knocking it out of the park recently. Like they've just been laying it down fat.
Yeah, I'm about to say ever since pretty much RE2 remake, because they've had Devil May Cry 5, RE3, RE4, 7, 8. Well, even was 7. Yeah, 7 was before too. So yeah, even since 7, then Monster Hunter World. I know. About to say Rise. Yeah, Rise. Monster Hunter Rise. Yes, I was gonna say Rise. What? Street Fighter 6 has been killing it. So yeah, Capcom has just been hitting home runs left and right. So yeah, that would have been a huge get for them.
Yep. And for me, I think because it's redacted, there might be in conversation. So they aren't like it might be like we're not going to reveal this because this is like in the works.
Now, that or because you know how certain it's like free agents in sports. You can't say who you're talking to if you're talking with multiple people. Either that or Capcom says, well, we're listening to Sony first and then we might come to you, you know. So they might not want to say Capcom and then Sony get wind of that and be like, excuse me? What are they offering you? We're gonna, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move to the second story. Continuing to release Activision games on PlayStation post-acquisition is reportedly the opposite of what Bethesda was told for its games.
So an internal email from Bethesda's Pete Hines reveals that Microsoft had told Bethesda its titles were to become Xbox exclusives, and Hines seemed frustrated to see the opposite being said to the public regarding Activision Blizzard games. When Microsoft announced it had acquired ZeniMax, the writing fell on the wall, or was written on the wall for PlayStation fans, that the biggest titles coming from Bethesda in the future would now be exclusive to Xbox. As time passed, that seemed to be exactly the case with Redfall and Starfield, both named as Xbox exclusives, though PlayStation fans are probably not at all that miffed about the latter of those two skipping PS5. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Then when Microsoft announced its acquisition of Activision Blizzard, fans took a different approach, believing there was, quote, no way Microsoft would take Call of Duty and other Activision heavy hitters off PlayStation, and publicly that's what Microsoft has been trying to echo. This internal email from Pete Hines, however, dated back to 2022 and shows that Microsoft was saying one thing to Bethesda, another to Activision Blizzard and the public. Quote, I'm confused, begins Hines. Quote, is the below that not the opposite of what we were just asked/told to do with our own titles? What's the difference? Hines then copies part of the Xbox blog post where it promised Sony regarding future Activision titles, quote, that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's succession platform. Quote, did anyone at Xbox think about giving us a heads up on this? Todd's going to DICE in a couple weeks. You don't think a you don't think he might find a journalist might find him and press him on why the below is okay for COD or any Activision Blizzard games, but not the Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield, or at any every future interview he does? And there's a tie into that you know we'll get into, but you know, just your initial thoughts on this. That you know, Pete Hines, we haven't seen him in a while. At least I haven't, because I didn't watch the Xbox Bethesda conference. But he's a very cool dude, like very chill, very down to earth. Like, you know, he doesn't seem like he gets angry a lot. And now when reading this email, it's like, what the heck, man? How are you going to tell us one thing and them another thing? Now, granted, I get the whole in fairness thing, but to play devil's advocate, Activision Blizzard going through a whole lot of rigmarole before they were acquired, and they're a much bigger company. That's why Xbox spent a ton more, like pretty much about almost 10 times the amount they did on Activision Blizzard. I mean, on ZeniMax.
Yeah.
So I get it. Why they would not want to, because it's a bigger market. They have more games that are more accessible that people play across multiple platforms. That would be more enticing to keep it multi-platform than a lot of Bethesda games. At the same time, I feel Pete's, concern. It's like, well, why are we the exception and y'all give them an option?
Yeah, yeah. It goes back to that old saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Exactly.
But I want to throw this into the thought process.
Hmm.
Activision Blizzard will put out a game and it actually works. ZeniMax has
Also fair.
struggled with multi-plat games and them having tons of bugs. So this might be a strategy for, it didn't really work for Redfall, but
I was just about to say.
but that was so far in development and everything. But you look at Bethesda, you look at ZeniMax itself or whatever, like they've put out games numerous of times and they've had huge bugs. Fallout 76 was disastrous.
Yeah.
And it might be just, hey, you need to, clean house. You need to make sure that you can release a game that actually works before we, that it works on one hardware than you being worried about it working on several different ones.
Exactly.
It could be that, it could be something totally different, but with Pete Hines, I understand the frustration. You know what I mean? It's like, you just got told, hey, you're going to be Xbox exclusive, but this new partner essentially is coming in and they've got free reign to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
That feels like, man, you brought me to prom, but you're making out with somebody by the punch bowl.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, I get into that, Chief. You know what I mean? So like, I can definitely understand Pete Hines thinking this, and I'm sure Todd Howard has got many questions or whatever and deflected them, because Todd's really good with journos and everything.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
yeah, it's like it would be frustrating. It would really put me off as well, because a lot of people that are on the PlayStation ecosystem love playing Bethesda games, love playing all of those. So but let's jump in the next part, Derek, and let's talk about Xbox. Phil Spencer seemingly decided to make all ZeniMax games exclusives in 2021 meeting.
Yeah, so this is a follow-up to that, because I think it's nice because this one actually came out today. And I was just like, I'll go ahead and throw this in here because this ties into this other one. So Phil Spencer apparently made a, quote, big decision to make all ZeniMax games Xbox exclusive in a November 2021 meeting. This reveal came to light as part of the final day of testimony in this week's Microsoft FTC hearing. During Xbox CFO Tim Stewart's time on the witness stand, the FTC called attention to a chat conversation from November 2021 between Stewart and Xbox's Matt Booty. The two were messaging about a recent monthly business review meeting between Xbox and ZeniMax, where Spencer apparently made the call to make all ZeniMax games exclusive going forward, not just new IP. Stewart was asking Booty about what happened during the meeting. Quote, all games going forward? Question mark. Stewart asked. No, just new IP, but all games going forward? Question mark. Wow. Booty confirmed this during the chat conversation, writing, Phil Spencer told them all titles going forward Xbox exclusive. The two went on to discuss how pulling all Bethesda titles from PlayStation would cause profit issues in Microsoft and ZeniMax's deal model. Quote, we will have accountability margin issues in the deal model. We all pull a huge number of PS units out of the model, Stewart noted. This means Xbox and ZeniMax projected profits after the acquisition factored in releasing some Bethesda games on PlayStation before this decision came down from Spencer. When Spencer testified last week, this is the meeting the Xbox leader claimed he didn't remember the specifics of. It's possible we'll get more information and clarity on this meeting during Microsoft's cross-examination of Stewart, and we'll update the story if that's the case.
Yeah, like, why did Spencer, like, it's like, oh, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, like, no, it's like, you remember when who was it? Someone at Bethesda was like, oh yeah, Redfall was supposed to be exclusive, and Phil's like, and remember we were joking, like, Phil's like, shut up, where is he, yeah. Does he, what's his position? Fire him, yeah, exactly. Don't give PlayStation more ammo. And here it is, Tim Stewart, the CFO, like, over here, like, oh yeah, here's the text conversation, and Phil's like, I'm gonna have to get rid of him too.
Him and old Matt Booty. But like Spencer, like I don't even remember it. It's like Thanos. It's like I don't
Yeah,
even know
I don't
who
even
you
know
are.
who you are.
That sort of deal. But it comes into it's like, yeah, that was a major decision because again, ZeniMax, Bethesda sold tons of PlayStation titles.
Yeah.
And that had to be a huge cut into their profits and everything. I think it also might have to do with the fact when they bought ZeniMax that they had two IPs that were timed exclusive on PlayStation, and Spencer might have been like, "Hey, we're going to cut them out for a while, and then we'll circle back down the road. Once
Yeah.
every like
Well,
go ahead."
well, and again, it also contradicts. Like, granted, I know it's very loose wording, and it can be manipulated, all that kind of thing. But when this acquisition of ZeniMax happened, Spencer said, "Oh, going forward, the games that they make, what platforms they'll be on will be on case by case basis." And
Mhm.
I'm sure that's where Pete Hines got that. I'm sure it's like, all right, Redfall looks really good. Starfield, we kind of want to make those exclusive, but the rest we'll see going forward. And now it's like now it's like, oh, all of them are going to be exclusives. Like, well, your wording said otherwise. Now I know, especially when you get up there with the big wigs of companies, things can change and you can change your mind and you're entitled to that. But still, it's like
Yeah.
you put that promise out there, or you put that wording out there, so people are going to hold you accountable to it.
Yeah, like when it comes down to it, it's a lot of word salad. It's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
for
stuff that
sure.
people can backpedal on and everything. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
politicians are great about that.
yeah, and CEOs are really good at that too. So, I I'm very curious where all of this goes, but we do have some other tidbits that I want to get into, Derek. So let's jump into those.
So yeah, these are other tidbits that came to light from this hearing. And another one that also is, like, if you were wondering what's going to happen with this, and I mean, I guess kudos to them, they found their Uncharted, but Indiana Jones is not coming to PlayStation, as Bethesda confirms it will be a Xbox exclusive. Bethesda says Starfield was coming to PS5, if it was coming to PS5, then it wouldn't be out this September. Microsoft claims Bobby Kotick demanded bigger revenue share to put Call of Duty on Xbox. Matt Booty says, quote, decision has not been made on if Outer Worlds 2 will come to PlayStation. Sarah Bond states that Xbox Cloud is Game Pass Ultimate's least popular feature and says the service is running at a loss. Xbox's Perfect Dark reboot is still years away. Years. Which I was going to put that article in there, but it was like a whole like thesis, and I was like, we ain't got time for that. They can read it. That can be your required reading if you want to look at what's all going on with Perfect Dark. It's a mess over there, from what it sounds like. Xbox acquired Ninja Theory for only 117 million. I have thoughts on that. Hitman Dev's upcoming fantasy RPG may be an Xbox exclusive. Microsoft considered skipping PlayStation for Activision and Mojang's Minecraft titles, or Activision's titles and Mojang's Minecraft titles. Elder Scrolls 6 exclusivity is still in question, as the game is still years away. And lastly, Microsoft only bought Bethesda after learning Starfield might have been a PlayStation exclusive.
Like, it just sounds like a bunch of petty junk. Like,
It does. We've been, I have to say, he's not right. But Jim Ryan is the ultimate king of petty throughout this whole discourse that we've covered throughout the last 8 months, right? But now it seems like he may have had reasons to be petty, because Xbox seems like they're being petty.
Yeah, like both sides, like, they just need to change their name to Richard Petty and start driving NASCAR because my God, it's just one thing after another.
I know.
The Ninja Theory for 117 million, that is a flippin' steal and a half.
It is like, granted, I know that they were only on the comeuppance, but it does seem cheap, but it's also like a really great price for them.
Oh,
though.
yeah. And I'm so excited for the next Senua game. But the thing that I wanted to hit during those tidbits, that Xbox Cloud is the least popular and running at a loss because in the CMA, they were very concerned about cloud gaming, this
Yeah.
whole thing. And it's like, well, actually, like,
Yeah.
like this is so far out and, not even a big thing. And we're actually
Yeah.
running at a loss.
It makes us
and
no money. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like super unpopular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just interesting to see these things come out, and these things like the whole Apple versus Epic. We got a ton of info, not just about Apple and Epic. We got a ton of info about PlayStation and all of these things
And
about this
Nintendo.
and Nintendo. And all of that being said, it's like we're seeing a huge shakeup in the marketplace, and it's been since Xbox bought Bethesda that this huge shakeup has started, where both of these corporations are buying like crazy. And I think we're going to continue to see this kind of craziness going forward. But if you want to do something that's not crazy, you can go support us by using our Epic creator code NerdCave at checkout in the Epic Game Store. You can do this on free games. You can do it on getting your V-Bucks. You can do it on your them Rocket League cars, all of those things. You can get Jedi Survivor, you can get Hogwarts Legacy, PlayStation exclusives that are over there as well. Get all of those awesome things. Use our creator code, and you can be
epic. And now, also, because too, just throwing it out there, all those games that will be coming to Epic Game Store that you saw over at Summer Game Fest, you can get those too.
Yeah, exactly. The wish list, those bad boys.
Yep.
Where they come out, you just pop that code in, NerdCave at checkout, and it costs you literally nothing. Nothing. $3.50. Let's jump into the PlayStation news, Derek.
Yeah, because we're not done yet, because now we have PlayStation's little interjection in all this Xbox FTC stuff, and old jaw-jacking Jim Ryan has a lot to say.
Sony's Jim Ryan says many publishers believe Xbox Game Pass is value destructive.
So this is a very interesting take I'm excited to, discuss on. According to PlayStation boss Jim Ryan, video game publishers do not like Xbox Game Pass. During his pre-recorded testimony for an evidentiary hearing between the Federal Trade Commission and Microsoft, Jim Ryan claimed publishers do not like Microsoft's video game subscription service because it is, quote, value destructive. Quote, I talked to all the publishers and they unanimously do not like Game Pass because it is value destructive, Ryan said during his testimony. But just before that, Ryan claimed Game Pass is unprofitable for Microsoft. Quote, the Game Pass business model appears to have some challenges, and Microsoft appears to be losing a lot of money on it, Ryan said. Asked for comment, Xbox did not provide a direct statement, but did point to an Xbox Wire post claiming that every single Game Pass title announced at this year's Xbox Game Showcase comes from a creator that has previously released a game with the service. Xbox CEO Phil Spencer, meanwhile, has been transparent about Game Pass's profitability and sustainability. In an interview with Axios last year, Spencer explained how the service was not burning cash and called it, quote, very, very sustainable. At the very same time, however, in the UK competition, at the UK CMA provisional report, Microsoft admitted its video game subscription service led to a marked decline in base sales. Microsoft and Sony have different strategies for their video game subscription service. Microsoft launches its games day and date on Xbox Game Pass, where Sony opts not to release its first-party games on rival service PS Plus at launch, with the likes of Horizon Forbidden West coming a year after. Early in June, Sony's vice president and global head of subscriptions, Nick McGuire, indicated Sony will not copy the Xbox Game Pass approach to exclusives, despite the rise of $70 games, because its current strategy is, quote, working. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick is one video game executive who remains unconvinced by Game Pass. Speaking during a financial call in November, Zelnick said of releasing big games day and date on a Microsoft subscription service, quote, I still don't think it makes sense, and I believe that it's now becoming obvious that it doesn't make sense. It's just a lost opportunity for the publisher, so I wouldn't want to speak for my friend Phil Spencer, but our views remain unchanged, end quote.
And, again, Game Pass is the best deal in gaming right now. All right.
Right.
It covers Microsoft exclusives day one. and anybody else that they add for $20 for Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
it's
15 or 20, one of the two.
yeah, I think it's went up to 20 at this point. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. Like it really
Yeah.
is. They have about 11 million subscribers, 10 or 11 million subscribers on Game Pass at this point, which
Yeah.
is great. That is a ton of money every month. But you look at games where they're costing $200 million to produce. Let's,
Right.
you know, one of the leaked things in one of the
Yeah.
horribly redacted documents, which was Horizon Forbidden West.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West cost like $212 million to make over 5 years. And it's like, okay, how do you recoup that cost if you do it Game Pass wise?
Right.
But you look at Xbox, they're not making the same kind of games as PlayStation.
Right.
They are not putting out games that are on the same level or same frequency as PlayStation is.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's how Game Pass is getting by. Is that
Yeah.
like they are so spread thin on releases, and I know we're fixing to get a bunch of releases and all of that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying
Maybe.
that
We'll see.
we'll see. But over the last few years since Game Pass has launched, it has been feast or famine with Xbox.
Yeah.
And they brought a lot of third parties, a lot of smaller indie games that, hey, they'll take a check cut to them and put their game on Game Pass, just like PlayStation did with PlayStation Plus back in the day with like Rocket League and, you know, all of these games.
Yep.
This, like, yes, I don't think that it's good overall, like if they were putting out games like Sony. But for Xbox and the way they're publishing games right now, Game Pass is doing well. Once they get to that point where they're putting out games more often, you will see Game Pass get more expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, again, it goes back to, and I get it. You know, like you said, you know, they take a cut. You know, how many dollars, how much more money could they have made had they just not put it on that subscription service? You know, that goes back to Rocket League. Rocket League's like, I know we launched day and date on PS Plus, and we did a killing. But how much more money could we have made had we not taken that lump sum and just launched the game? And now they're freemium, so I mean, it's a moot point at this point. But how many times have we, reported on like, yes, Game Pass, you do this, but how many times has Phil Spencer said, oh, well, actually, because people in the beginning were like, well, how is this going to affect game sales? And Spencer's like, well, actually, game sales have increased for Game Pass because people are basically getting a free trial of the game. And before they spend their hard-earned cash, and it's like, oh, I actually like this. Let me go ahead and actually own this, so that way when it gets taken off of Game Pass, I still can play it. Or it's like, oh, I don't really care for this, or I only played this once or twice. Let me just delete this and go on to something else that I want to invest my time and money into. So it's a two-edged sword. Now, of course, this was like a couple years ago when Spencer said this. A lot could have changed over the course, and their profits in sales could have started dwindling or dipping down to where it's not as profitable. And maybe that's why the publishers are seeing this, and now they're trying to, like, maybe they're a little bit angsty about it, aggravated by it. And it's like, well, maybe this isn't a good capitalist venture. But again, in the article that I read, it's like all the games that are coming to Game Pass are stuff that has been all the publishers have put games on before. So it's like you still technically, now regardless, minus the exclusives, because Xbox is basically can point a gun to their head and be like, you have no choice. Sorry, we're putting it on there. But like third party, if they've done it before, it's like they're not going to be strong armed by Microsoft. So if they've done it, they actually believe in it before. So
yeah, and it's like these smaller developers, they're AA, not many of them are AAA that are on there. And EA, you get EA Play, which is, older EA games. Like they've been with Microsoft for a while. But you look at it, it's like you get a built-in community to play your games, to talk about your games. And if you have, 6-month deal or whatever, once you go off, if people like it enough, they'll buy it. Or they're like, okay, well, I got enough out of it the time that it was on Game Pass and everything. Murdoch says, I find enough value in it to justify the $16 month. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's like $14.99 a month for Ultimate and everything. It's very interesting what all of this is. I don't think that for someone like PlayStation, this model makes sense at all.
Yeah.
For someone that is like, Zelnick, where, they are putting out, what Take-Two puts out.
Yeah.
Like it is definitely not, beneficial for them. So,
I mean, yeah, they come out and make killings. So, I mean, it's like, why do we have to put it on a subscription service? We can just put it on there later.
yeah,
Let's make that bread. Let's get that bread.
Yeah. And it's like, again, when we see more Xbox games come out, you will see Game Pass go up. But until they're actually putting out games on a consistent and regular basis, why, they don't have to. They've got, let's do the math, Derek. Let's do the math real quick. So let's say it's 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I went too far. 10 million times $14.99. That's $149,900,000 a month.
Yeah.
Just on Game Pass. Then times that by 12, and then you got this number. It's 1.7988 e to the ninth power.
Billion.
Yeah, it's like over $1 billion a year, and it's just getting people to come on your stuff. So anyway, let's move to the second one of the Sony stuff. Jim Ryan, pretty sure Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation in bombshell email.
PlayStation boss Jim Ryan wrote in an email, quote, "I'm pretty sure we will continue to see Call of Duty on PlayStation for many years to come," in response to the news Microsoft intended to buy Activision and Blizzard. The revelation came as part of the ongoing hearing in which lawyers representing Microsoft and the United States FTC are fighting for the future of the proposed $69 billion with a B buyout of Activision Blizzard. The email, viewed by IGN reporter Rebecca Valentine in court today and dated January 20th, 2022, 2 days after Microsoft announced its intent to purchase Activision Blizzard, reveals Ryan's relaxed attitude to the deal at the time and counters Sony's public-facing concern about the future of Call of Duty on PlayStation that emerged in the year and a half that followed. Quote, "It's not an Xbox exclusivity play at all," Ryan wrote in the email. Quote, "They're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I've spent a fair bit of time with both Phil Spencer and Bobby Kotick over the past day. I'm pretty sure we will continue to see COD on PlayStation for many years to come. Quote, "We have some good stuff cooking. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm not complacent, and I'd rather this hadn't happened, but we'll be okay, more than okay." A Microsoft spokesperson told IGN, quote, "Today showed Sony has shown all along that we'll stand by our promise to keep games on its platform. And made clear its work to lobby against the deal is only to protect its dominant position in the market." In a September 2022 interview, Ryan called Microsoft's offer for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends inadequate on many levels. In March, Activision Blizzard Executive Vice President of Corporate Affairs and CCO Lulu Cheng Mezerve took to Twitter to claim Ryan had commented on Sony's true motivation in a behind-closed-doors meeting in Brussels. Quote, in his words, "I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger." This was reportedly in response to Microsoft's December 2022 offer to Sony of a 10-year agreement that would guarantee PlayStation long-term access to Call of Duty. Sony has so far failed to sign any such deal. In Call of Duty, Sony has so far failed to sign any such deal. In documents released today, Microsoft used this offer to back up its case, claiming it would, quote, "go beyond the expected starting period of the next generation of consoles in 2028. Quote, "Thus, Call of Duty will be published on successor PlayStation consoles should one be released during the term of the agreement. The agreement also would ensure that Call of Duty console games are offered on PlayStation at parity with Xbox." It's crunch time for Microsoft and the Xbox brand as company leaders are heading to federal court to defend their proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard against the FTC. You know, it's funny because reading this, it's he's like like it describes. He's a calm, cool, collected cat. Like, we'll be okay. We ain't worried about it. But then over the course of the next 18 months, he's like a spoiled child. He's like, I don't want your deal. I just don't want your merger to happen. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, dude, why are you throwing such a tantrum if in the beginning you were playing that cool? It's sort of like that guy sweating, the Jordan Peele meme. He's like, I'm okay. No, this is just, it must be raining outside. I'm not worried at all. So it's like, were you really okay with it? Hoping that were you okay with it? Hoping that it's like, oh, this will never happen. They won't plaster this through. And then once it started to look like a real thing, you're like, well, now I don't want this to happen.
I don't think it's that, Derek. I think,
Okay.
like, going back to what he said, we'll be okay, more than okay. It's like, hey, we have this in the bag. We are number one for a reason.
Yeah.
I think the response that he's been giving is because he is the CEO of the top gaming company. Okay.
Yeah.
It is about defense. All right. If you're up in points, Derek, and the star of the other team is driving at your basket, you're not just going to say, come on in. Oh, you're so nice. You are going to stand your ground. You're going to put your hands up and you're going to try to get a charge, or you're going to try to block the ball. Okay. You're not just going to let them run through you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to play some defense. And that's what Sony is doing. Are they, doing it in a non-petty way? Definitely not. They are not, but hey, Jim Ryan, he's being honest. He's like, I don't want no stupid deal. I just want to block your merger. Like, if one thing, Jim Ryan, he calls a spade a spade.
Yep.
He's not about hiding anything. And
he's not.
That's the interesting thing, is because we see a lot of corporations, try to like hide their interests or whatever, but Jim Ryan ain't about that. Ain't about that.
Nah.
And that's the interesting thing, is like, this is my personal opinion. I think it's gone past, they're talking about lobbying and everything. I think they've done a lot more lobbying than we know. To be 100%, sure. Because
this is just stuff that they're comfortable with bringing to the light.
Yeah. Or that, has been leaked or whatever. But I think that PlayStation has done a lot more in roundabout ways than all of this, because if this goes through, this is huge. This is game changing stuff here.
Yeah.
And that's what Sony doesn't want, because who is always at the top of MPD reports?
Microsoft or Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Doesn't matter how trash the game is. Call of Duty is at the top of the MPD reports all the time. And sometimes two of them. You think about whatever the annual release is, and then you've got Warzone.
Yeah.
Like, Warzone makes a ton of money.
Especially within the first month or two. Like, the previous release could still be up there along with the new release.
Yeah. So it is definitely a defensive position to keep being number one. That's really what it is. I don't think that he's like, we've got to definitely defend. We don't want this to go through. Let's hold it up as long as we can to continue to push forward. But I think it's like, okay, this might not happen this time around, but I think they know that this will eventually go through.
Yeah. Jim Ryan's not dumb.
No. Speaking of more Jim Ryan news, good old
Told you,
Jim
he's
Ryan,
a jawjacker.
Good old Jim Ryan says, Amy, Jim Ryan reveals why he turned on the Xbox merger and other key takeaways.
All right, this one's a little bit of a long-winded one, so strap in, boys and girls. Grab you a drink of water. All right, so PlayStation boss Jim Ryan appeared in a pre-recorded video deposition as part of today's Xbox's FTC trial, finally sharing his piece on Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. In the 70-minute pre-recorded segment, Ryan called Game Pass value destructive, admitted that Starfield's exclusivity is not anti-competitive, and said that an email from Phil Spencer that last August set the alarm bells ringing at Sony. Here's all the important points from Ryan's appearance today. Lawyers asked Ryan point blank if he believes exclusivity for games like Redfall and Starfield is anti-competitive. Quote, I don't like it, but I don't view it as anti-competitive. However, speaking to the Activision Blizzard deal as a whole, Ryan said he told Activision CEO Bobby Kotick he thought the deal was anti-competitive and wanted to get it blocked. Excuse me, hold on. All right. Ryan called Xbox's subscription service destructive, saying publishers that he's spoken to are not fans of the model. The Game Pass business model appears to have some challenges, and Microsoft appears to be losing a lot of money on it. I talked to all the publishers, and they unanimously do not like Game Pass as its value destructive. Ryan added that Sony has never asked Activision to add new versions of Call of Duty into its PlayStation Plus subscription service. We knew that Bobby Kotick had been very public and very vocal that he did not see that as a route he wanted to take Activision Blizzard down. Ryan confirmed that Sony never floated the possibility by Kotick because he knew he would never even consider it. IGN has reached out to Xbox for comment on Ryan's statement about Game Pass. After Xbox announced its intention to acquire Activision in early 2022, Ryan said Xbox boss Phil Spencer reached out to him in May with a potential letter agreement and the list of games Xbox would commit to keeping on PlayStation. Ryan said this interaction with Spencer did not adequately address his concerns about Activision games on PlayStation moving forward. Ryan said he wasn't that concerned about the transaction in May, but Spencer's response to Sony's counterproposal in August, quote, set the alarm bells ringing. This email from Spencer caused major concern within Sony's camp, but the contents of the email were not shared today in court. A major concern for Sony is that Xbox will put Call of Duty on Game Pass, de-incentivizing players to access the title on PlayStation. Quote, we believe that Microsoft intends to use Call of Duty to disadvantage PlayStation in terms of the availability or the manner in which the game is made available on PlayStation consoles, and to drive PlayStation gamers to the Xbox platforms, specifically Game Pass. Xbox exclusivity of Bethesda games like Starfield, Redfall, and The Elder Scrolls 6 has been a hot topic throughout this trial, and the matter came up again during Ryan's deposition prior to Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda. Ryan said he expected Starfield and Redfall to be available on PlayStation because, quote, pretty much every other Bethesda game had been multi-platform prior to the acquisition. Of course, some major exceptions to that are Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which launched first as PlayStation console exclusives. Ryan said PlayStation learned after the ZeniMax acquisition that it would miss out on Starfield. In an email exchange between Ryan and former PlayStation boss Chris Deering, Ryan discussed his take on Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. As we've seen previously, Ryan initially said he believed it was not a play for Xbox exclusivity, but rather for King's suite of mobile titles. When asked if Microsoft would stop supplying Activision games to PlayStation, Ryan said, I honestly believe that will not happen. Last week, Xbox boss Phil Spencer testified that Sony sent PlayStation 5 developer kits to Microsoft well after developers got them. Spencer claimed that the late access to dev kits is why there is no native version of Minecraft on PS5. Now Ryan has said his piece on dev kits, saying Sony would hold back dev kits of future consoles from Activision if Xbox's acquisition is completed. Quote, we simply could not run the risk of a company that was owned by our direct competitor having access to that information. That information could leak into other parts of Microsoft and potentially allow them to be able to develop similar features to the ones that we would argue that we invented. Ryan claims Sony could not rely on a contract to make Activision keep PlayStation features secret from Microsoft. Sony acquired Bungie shortly after Microsoft announced that the Activision deal last year, and Ryan claims Sony would get more out of the Bungie purchase than it would out of buying Activision Blizzard. Ryan said this largely comes down to Bungie's expertise in the living service space. Quote, when you look at $69 billion for Activision compared to $3.6 billion for Bungie, we believe that Bungie would give us way more than a $69 billion acquisition of Activision, and that's before considering the relative value of that particular transaction. Cloud gaming has been another big topic during this trial, and Ryan was very non-committal when asked about the timeline of cloud gaming's relevancy. Cloud technology will become a meaningful component of how gamers access games between 2025 and 2035. He wouldn't give a more specific window than that, saying no one could accurately project when cloud gaming would be a larger role in the industry. It will play a larger role in the industry. The FTC has been trying to establish that Nintendo is not a competitor in the relevant market in terms of this trial, saying that Nintendo Switch's less capable hardware puts it in a different realm than PlayStation and Xbox. Ryan largely played into this point, claiming Nintendo is in the console market but is not Sony's direct competitor. Ryan was also asked when he thinks Call of Duty didn't perform well as on Nintendo consoles, and he said Call of Duty is aimed at a very different audience than the standard Nintendo audience that enjoys Mario and Zelda, not Call of Duty. Ryan was asked how much he thought Microsoft's Xbox Series X and S consoles had performed since launch, and he said he believes they performed well. Quote, I believe the demand for the Xbox Series X and S is strong. Like PlayStation, they have been troubled by supply shortages, as we understand, but demand for their products is robust in the United States. Ryan confirmed that the Xbox brand is typically more popular in the United States compared to other territories, and chose to single out shooters as the majority reason why. The majority of their games, many of their games involve an element of shooting, and many of their games involve elements of online multiplayer, both of which typically are more popular in the US than they are outside the US. So that's a whole lot of word jargon, in there, because, it's on stuff we had already covered, but most of it was already stuff we covered. But, the main takeaway was the email that raised alarm bells. It's like, they sent a proposal in May, Sony sent a counter proposal, and then Xbox responded to that, and then that's when Jim Ryan was like, "All right, now we're done. I'm taking off the gloves. I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. Now I just want you to stop."
Yeah, exactly. And again, he's the CEO. If he wasn't protecting their market share, their leading of the market and everything, he wouldn't be worth the money that he's getting paid to be the CEO of Sony.
Exactly.
And, sometimes that takes a cutthroat nature,
Yep.
We look at the previous generations, and that wasn't really something like nobody bought other developers.
No.
Until like the very end of the last console cycle when all of this started changing. So we didn't really see, Sean Layden do anything like that, or Phil, do like, they were just kind of like, these are the video game guys, they're running their stuff and that's about it. But now it's like, okay, these are competing companies. They are trying to vie for power. They are trying to give their companies the weapons, quote unquote, to achieve the means of being the best. So, we see all of this. We see, Ryan responding to all of this. Amy put hashtag non-committal, and he's all over the place. He's like, yeah, this would be, this would be detrimental. No, that's not really detrimental, but this is detrimental, but it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, it's like how is a big space RPG from Bethesda not detrimental, but taking call. I mean, I get it again from a thing, but it's like, how can you say one thing's okay but not? I guess it's sort of like the only thing I could say, to give him a little bit of flack would be a give and take attitude. It's like, well, I can't have all of it. I can't say no to everything, so I have to give him the stuff that won't hurt us the most.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to backpedal in some places, but then jump 10 steps exactly ahead at the same time. And like, I know he's trying to lean into the whole Nintendo's not a competitor, and yes, Nintendo is a different kind of beast in and of itself, but you look at how well the Switch is sold over the last few years, and it is on track to being the best selling console of all time. And that tells me it's like, hey, like, Nintendo's not just like, oh, well, they're just they're Nintendo. Like, it's like, no, they're a competitor still. They might not be able to compete hardware wise, but sales, absolutely crazy. Tears of the Kingdom destroying. It's like they might be different, but in my eyes, like, they are still a competitor.
Yeah.
And I know where they're coming at. Like, yeah, they're not in the shooters and all of this, but even Xbox is like, hey, we've made overtures to Nintendo to say, hey, we're going to work with you. We're signing deals with Activision, with Nintendo and everything. It's like, we're promising 10 years, blah, 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 blah. But it goes back to that. He wants to block this merger. And, a lot of this was stuff we've heard before, but then getting, more context of behind the scenes stuff and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Old Jaw Jack and Jim Ryan.
Oh, man. That deposition. I can only imagine being in the court at the same time. Derek, I'm gonna give you a break. I'll take the PlayStation quickies while
Okay.
you take a little rest. All right. So the
Appreciate
PlayStation
that.
quickies this week, Sony is reportedly improving reprojection tech for the PSVR 2 games that run at 60 frames per second. Sony's Project Q will retail for under $300, reckons Microsoft. LeBron James DualSense controller and PlayStation 5 plates launch this July in select regions. PlayStation exclusives cost less than Xbox exclusives due to Sony's larger console user base, says Microsoft. Microsoft Activision acquisition is anti-competitive, but Starfield as an Xbox exclusive is not, says Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan believes cloud gaming won't be a meaningful component into the industry until 2025. Final Fantasy 16's PC version is in development, but no release date yet because they don't have the drivers for it. Final Fantasy 16 reaches 3 million physical shipments and digital copies sold. Latest Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores updates features tribute to Lance Reddick.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Now, what's interesting is Final Fantasy 16 only available on PlayStation 5. Only been out a week.
Yeah.
Last week it launched. 3 million have already sold, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
Now, do you know what the best-selling Final Fantasy game is in the short term?
Oh, I don't. If I had to take a guess, it would probably be 7.
Nope.
But I'm probably wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Is it one? Is it one of the less popular ones that I would think of?
Well, it's sold the best.
Yeah. Well, no, like
So it's
in
not
terms of when people talk about, like when people go back and talk about the entire series, they don't bring this one up as much.
Ish.
Is it 10?
No. It's
6?
way more recent. Way more recent.
Whoa, 7 remake?
Nope.
Go ahead.
15. 15 is the best selling Final Fantasy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. You wouldn't think 15, but it is. Like, it makes no sense.
They like those boy bands, let me tell you.
Well, it was like we went forever without a Final Fantasy other
Fair.
than 14, which is like an MMO and everything. But yeah.
And now it's like Resident Evil. They're trying to put one out every year.
Yeah, it's like what I feel like they're just like cooking meth over there. You know what I mean? Like everybody's like
they don't sleep, they just continuously work.
They just continuously work. They're like hooked up to IVs and they're just like zombies are like coding away. But
it's like what's the creator of Smash Brothers?
Oh God. That dude with the face.
Creator, because
Derek's looking it up, guys.
Masahiro Sakurai. Sakurai, yeah, Sakurai. They're just like, can we rest yet? No, keep making them.
Exactly. So that is the PlayStation news, but we got one last segment left, and that's the quick hits, and they're brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You become part of the exclusive crew by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave. You can get all of these cool things. You can get videos that no one else gets to see all over there on our Patreon. You can help us support this show, keep the lights on each and every week doing this. We put a lot of love and attention into this show, and you can help make our dreams of an anime show come true.
You can do it
if you like anime.
You like the Naruto's and the Demon Slayers and the Ranking of King, and I'm just listing off stuff that I know that you watched.
Dragon Ball Z. Man, I want to watch Yu Yu Hakusho again.
Yes, Lord, yes. Just up to season 3, because season 4 I can do without.
God, no. I wouldn't do that to anybody. That's like watching the old Rurouni Kenshin, like after you fight Mummy
Shishio
Dude.
arc.
Yeah, Mummy Dude. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, Derek, but you know what I know it's time for is the quick hits.
Yep. So starting off, E3 has been getting ahead of everything. E3 has been canceled for 2024 and 2025. Activision will shut down the original Call of Duty Warzone on September 21st. Microsoft expects the PS6 and new Xbox will launch in 2028. Diablo 4 players are trying to work out what its secret post-credits ending means. Multiverses is officially offline until a full launch in 2024. Sonic Superstars is getting Lego DLC skins. Super Mario Oreos announced as limited time collaboration. Following that, Meta launches new VR subscription for $8 a month. Atomic Heart's Annihilation Instinct DLC sets an August 2nd release date. Remedy isn't doing a physical release for Alan Wake 2 due to extra development time the team gets out of it. New achievements added to RE4 Remake could indicate new content coming soon. Bandai Namco will host a summer showcase during Anime Expo this year. Rockstar VR games seemingly leaked through actor's resume. Pikmin 4 Rewind mechanic lets you bring Pikmin back from the dead. Mortal Kombat 2 adds another villain in Baraka, and that's the movie, by the way. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is already the second best-selling game of 2023. Crazy. Ghouls and Ghosts, Crusader of Senti, Landstalker, and The Revenge of Shinobi are joining Nintendo Switch Online. BioWare confirms undisclosed number of layoffs as SWTOR moves to new developer. The ESA's digital E3 2021 did cost over $6 million. New month coming up in July. This is the last week of June, so July brings new games. And first up, we got new Xbox games for Gold for the month of July. For the entire month, you get Darkwood. And from July 16th to August 15th, you get When the Past Was Around. Following that, now we've got the PlayStation Plus Essentials for the month of July. First, you get these titles on both PS5 and PS4. You get Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Alan Wake Remastered, Ending Extinction is Forever. Man, that's a stacked PlayStation. Some thoughts on that, on the little end, on the free games, right?
Mm.
And I know we're winding down, and I know Xbox, we talked about last week how they're shutting down production of Xbox One and the games for it and all that kind of stuff. But, from what I can remember, the last couple months worth of games of Gold have just been like garbage. Like, it's a bunch of titles we don't know about. And I know with Game Pass, it gets rocky because it's like, all right, what do we put with Game Pass? What do we put for games with Gold? Because I'm sure that's different revenue, streams that we got to adhere to and all that stuff. But it's like, it's just trash. Now, granted, I guess with Game Pass, eventually I think they'll just phase out games with Gold, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the PlayStation Plus, you get speaking to Call of Duty, you get a free one this upcoming month, and then Alan Wake Remastered in the wake of pun intended, Alan Wake 2 coming out.
Oh yeah, man. Like when I saw it leaked a few days ago, like that this was going to be on there, and I was like, okay. I know didn't you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it on Xbox though.
Okay, so now I get to play the remastered, going into Alan Wake 2. Super, super excited for it. But what's interesting, Derek, I want to point out two things. The last two games on both of these lists sound like animes. When the Past Was Around and Ending Extinction is Forever sounds like new age, like animes.
You right? Yeah, like what they would call. Yeah, you right though. That is very true. That is very, very anime inspired.
100%. And then I just want to talk about multiverses for a second. I want to put out a potential bet, Derek. All right, you tell me. Okay. Multiverses, they're saying, will officially launch in 2024. I'm calling it right now, Derek. Multiverses will never launch.
Ooh, that's a rough one, because I would definitely agree with you, because the fan base did drop off, and mainly because the content support after was the first couple iterations they just stopped with it. But at the same time, there was some, I won't say a huge excitement, but there was enough of a rumbling, people enjoying it to where I think they should at least try to do a full launch. But I don't know, unless whatever government, gets involved, like with Skull and Bones, it's entirely possible that it won't launch either.
Yeah. So Derek, do you want to make the bet?
No.
shake a pulse in his hand. Amy says, I think you're addicted to making bets. You know, I just try to get Derek to, live a little, just live a little. But clearly he doesn't want to live a little. But yeah, I think Multiverses is not going to launch. Like, it dropped off dramatically because they weren't putting anything out. And I think they left a lot of the hardcore fans with a bitter taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
I think they will see what the excitement is and everything, but I feel like WB will pull this. They'll pull it sooner than later.
Yeah.
So
speaking of a game in that genre, just, because I brought up Sakurai. When do you think, obviously we can all assume it'll be with the new Switch hardware, but when do you think, like, year wise, like how many years away are we from getting like the next Smash Brothers?
So my prediction is that we will see a new Switch announced next year.
Okay.
That's my thought. Just with the games we saw the Nintendo Direct last week.
Oh yeah.
With all of these, Detective Pikachu, we getting a remaster of Luigi Mansion's new
Dark Moon on the from the 3DS.
Yeah, like we're seeing a lot of things that are getting moved over and everything. So I think we will get an announcement next year. Probably will launch in the fall. Okay. It won't be release window.
Switch takes you think the console takes a fall release?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just.
Interesting.
I know Switch. Nintendo usually goes spring, but we're just going with it. You know what I mean, Derek?
Yeah.
This isn't a bet. You know what I mean? They at least announce it in the summer of next year. Release it fall or spring of the next year. Okay. Or winter. It would be winter. Yeah. Q1. And then we won't see a new Smash until year 2.
Okay.
But
got you.
Here's my thought. We will see a new Mario Kart at launch.
Well, did you say, because I know we talked about it a little bit last week too, launch or launch window?
I don't know. Launch window. We'll just put that in launch window. Again, we're not making a bet here, so I don't have to be accurate.
Yeah, it's see, guys, the way you do it is bets that he's only confident in bets that he only makes bets he's confident in.
Exactly. Plus, even if I did say, hey, Derek, let's make a bet, you're so gun shy right now that you wouldn't take me up on it.
That's true. It's always like the whole like smoke and mirror trick. He's like, I'll throw a facade out there this time, but then next time I'll throw a real one and see just like a
yeah. It's like boxing, Derek. You give your feints and then you come in, a little hey, a little hey. So I'm excited, Derek. We got a ton of stuff to wrap up this Xbox FTC episode of the NerdCave News. Last week, I was like, I don't think it's going through. This week, feeling a little bit more positive about that. My prediction might come true, Derek.
Yeah.
Where are you feeling? Are you thinking that we might get an FTC ruling in favor of this acquisition?
I do think we will get a ruling, just because, again, both, like, especially from the first article we talked about, both sides are now seeing, like, Jim Ryan had a reason to be petty because Xbox was petty first, or vice versa. They were both at fault, but at the same time, Jim Ryan is, like, especially doubling down on this. I just want to block your merger, and being like, oh, I just want to be that big bully. Yeah. And Microsoft and Xbox is just like, I mean, we're just trying to get capital here. Sorry. I think it will rule in favor of it happening.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Let us know what you think. Do you think Microsoft is going to be able to walk out of this one and then go back to the CMA and see if they can get that overruled there?
Like, it's like coming back with Big Brother. It's like he goes back to the CMA and then like he's got FTC stand behind him. But it's like, so you're gonna pass me now?
It's like when you're playing an RPG, Derek, and you go fight like a bigger boss, and then you come back to like a mini boss, and you just wipe the floor with that mini boss. Like you played it out of order, and you're just like, this is nothing now. Well, there you have it, everybody. There is this week's episode of the Nerd Cave News. We hope that you enjoyed it. Let us know down in the comments. Do you think the FTC is going to actually pass this, or is it dead in the water? Because this has been Zach
and Drag Heron, the Horde Destroyer.
God bless week. Bye. Boom. There you go, everybody. It is in the books. Derek.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a good episode, man. That was a lot of reading.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it's I had to take it easy on old Bessie after the last couple weeks of making her download all those videos.
Oh, I know, man. Like, she was just like, oh my God.
Please make it stop.
Yeah. Like this part in season 3 of Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Okay.
You'll get
eventually.
There. Guys, we hope that you enjoyed the episode. If you are new here, smack that subscribe button so you don't miss out on this. We do this each and every week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. We talk about the news of the week. So we're glad that you're here hanging out with us. Derek, my question to you, did you play anything this week?
No. Like I said, I told you my weekend. I told you how that went. So
true.
That's definitely a negative.
Derek was
traveling and then traveling around Alabama and then traveling to the toilet.
Yeah, Derek was a sick puppy this past weekend. So yeah,
I mean, I don't know if it, because I went to one of my best friends' youngest first birthday party in Birmingham. Did a bunch of traveling back and forth. Traveled to work the next day. Came back, and then all of a sudden, about 10:30 at night, stomach bug hit me, and it went on for 12 hours. Like I had to call out of work, so it would be, it was rough. Yeah. No bueno.
Played a little bit Among Us.
Oh yeah,
Tuesday. Yeah.
Of course you would play it without me.
I told you when we were going to do it, bro.
Yeah, and I told you I had to work. I had to close.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that, Derek? Whose fault is that?
Sorry, I have to be responsible. You know, I have to make a living.
Yeah. You know, is what it is.
We all can't sell drugs like some people.
Like drug dealers?
Oh, you know, I was trying to out you there, but you know, okay, sure. Yeah, them too.
Yeah. If drugs are smiles and laughter, then I sell those all the time.
I don't know. You definitely make people laugh because you're funny looking, but I don't know if you call smiles because you a bully.
I'm a bully?
Yeah.
Become unemployed.
Then become employed. You're right, though. I mean,
true, but you know.
Then I don't want to be another statistic of all these people, like, you know, because we already have not enough people in the workforce as is.
Well, we're going to keep everybody employed. We're going to get everybody jobs. What we do here at the Nerd Cave.
Yep.
What we do. Now, Derek, as we wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Tie a little bow on it. Tie a little bow on it. You know what I mean? A little bow. A little bow on it, Derek.
Yeah. Continue. I'm waiting for you to continue.
A little bow on it. Give me your top 3 anime.
Oh gosh. All right. Number 3. Naruto.
Ooh, that low, huh?
Number 2. Steins Gate. Number 1. Attack on Titan.
Really?
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. Not
like,
even Dragon Ball Z on the list, brah.
It's in the top. All right, Dragon Ball Z, like, it's that childhood, but as my tastes have grown over the years, like Attack on Titan was just that like mind flare of just like holy cow, like once you get to like the season is just like holy cow, this happens. It's so good. And Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is up there too. But Naruto, especially after rewatching part 1, hearing you talk about your adventures, especially now getting into it with Amy, is just like it was that special time where just like Dragon Ball was that first anime. You always remember your first. Like it'll always be up there in my heart. But Naruto just hit different in the sense of like it introduced ninjas, and it was a new concept to America, at least to America, because you would always see the modernized versions of it.
We've
but
never
when you
seen
saw
ninjas.
it in this,
Derek.
yeah, what?
We've never seen ninjas in America until Naruto.
I mean, I guess but
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, but it just hit different. It resonated different. And especially with Shippuden, like seeing like the payoffs from part 1 and like seeing the ramifications, the continuation, like it just is like really good. Now, granted, it takes a little too long. It's a little long in the tooth with some stuff, but it gets the point across.
Yeah, I agree. Dan says my number 1. Dan, you got to give me 3. You can't just go to your number 1. You got to give me your top 3.
He's the opposite of me. When you ask for 1, I give you multiples.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking for 3. And he says Naruto. My top 3, Derek.
I know you've only seen 4, so which one is going to be that one out?
Okay, I've seen more anime than that, bro.
I know.
I'm like old school anime, dude. I'm an old school. I'm gonna go My Hero for my number 3 because I really have been enjoying My Hero. Number 2, Naruto.
Of course. Oh, what's number 1? Now I'm interested.
My number 1. Dan, you're still just giving me 1. Can't just
because it has a long name doesn't mean the count is 3. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Ooh,
my number 1, Derek. I want to say 1. I'm gonna go with it because, dude, it's the one that brought me to the dance. I'm still dancing with it every time it pops up. Dragon Ball Z, man.
Yeah,
I like. I'll include Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super all into that because it's all I'm not including GT
because it's a whole series. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball is hilarious. Flipping hilarious, and it's got a lot of good storytelling. Dragon Ball Z's got amazing fights. We get Super Saiyan Dragon Ball Super got really amazing fights and character development. I will say this, the only thing that I will ping Dragon Ball over, or Dragon Ball Z, is just like, all right, we got to make them stronger. We got to give them another level of Super Saiyan. Like it's always another.
Well, it's like Superman. It's like, oh, they found a way. How's it going to? Oh, he just unlocks a new power.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only knock against that. Dan says number 3, My Hero. Number 2, One Piece, and then number 1, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. That's a really long
Gurren Lagann. That's the Japanese name of it, but Gurren Lagann is the official name.
Now, you want to know who my number 1 character is?
Hello. What?
It's Itachi, man.
Oh, I mean, well, that was
Itachi.
You mean it's not Krillin?
Itachi is number 1.
Okay.
All Might is number 2.
Ooh, okay.
Definitely number 2. And then I don't know who my number 3 is. Probably I would even say Rurouni Kenshin, like Kenshin.
Yeah.
Like the Batosai. Not I'm not talking about like, where he's all small. I'm talking about like
Kenshin Himura, like
yeah, the Batosai is there. I was like, I want the murderer.
Yeah.
Like when it would do
cold-blooded killer.
Do flashbacks, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah. And you take like 30
That's just your inner
out.
villain enjoying it.
True. Dude, there is one part in season 3. I can't wait for you to see it because it is so cool. Like it's just like
and Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, it's so dope. Oh man. Oh, it's so good. All right, we talked enough about anime. If y'all want to see an anime show, because you can see we like some anime, you can go over and support us on patreon.com/nerdcave. Help us get our anime show on like Donkey Kong. Dan says Yamcha still takes the cake as the most tragic hero. He was strong once and then everyone else just outpaced him so badly. Like Yamcha as the villain, when you first see him in Dragon Ball, like Wolfang Fist.
Oh yeah,
dude,
that's
so
when it
cool.
meant something.
Yeah, and now it's just a joke.
And then even again, and then he has this one hit thing like where it's first introduced, because I mean the first arc in Z, he had the Spirit Ball, and you know that did something for a while, and then after that, irrelevant.
Yeah. Crunchyroll's getting like 15 Dragon Ball Z movies.
I saw that.
I'm excited for. I'm excited to finally watch the new Brawly movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one that's part of Super, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excited to watch that. There you go, guys. That is going to do it for us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed it. We will be back on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, to be playing some more games and chatting and telling all the cool stories. We love you. This has been Zach
and Derek.
Have a blessed week. Bye.